Hello one and all, welcome back to more Let's Play Danganronpa 2. I am the Max of You Trades, and I have the very unfortunate duty to inform you all that we have lost even more of our friends, and this really freaking sucks. We lost Ibuki and Hiyoko, and with them we lost a source of never-ending positivity and humor, and while, in Ibuki, and while Hiyoko may have been kind of an incredibly jagged individual, I think we can all safely say she most certainly didn't deserve what happened to her, and also she could have definitely had some character development. It almost seemed like that's where she was going to be going, but apparently the writers saw the fact that she might end up becoming a better person and bettering herself and everything, and it all turned out really great, and then just decided, nah, we don't need none of that in our lives. Anyway, I am stuck with the duty of investigating things and figuring out who the hell did this. First and foremost, before I even think about talking to anybody, I unfortunately have to take a look at their bodies. I'd very much rather not. Oh, okay, I actually can look at this place more specifically. All right, well, actually, I want to look at Ibuki, but is there blood on this ladder? The step ladder is tipped over on its side. Yeah, thanks. That's not really something I need to relive. This must be the step ladder that Ibuki used in the video I saw. Isn't that a blood stain? Observant as always, Chiaki. Look, there's blood around the left side of the step ladder. As I recall, Ibuki didn't have any external injuries. If that's the case, then it must be Hiyoko's blood. Yep. That's the only thing I can think of. But how did her blood get onto a step ladder? The blood stain that probably belongs to Hiyoko is on the left side of the step ladder. What does it mean? I'm sure we'll figure it out eventually. Okay, oh man, of all the people to lose. Okay, let's just get it done. Ibuki's body lay atop the stage. She's wearing the hospital gown she was wearing when she was sick. Huh? What's this on Ibuki's feet? There's blood splatters on her feet. I didn't notice when she was hanging. Ugh. You don't need to talk about it so casually, okay? But the soles of her feet are dirty. It's blood, right? But there shouldn't be any external injuries on Ibuki. If that's the case, this blood belongs to someone else. And also, it would imply that she walked through the blood.
Damn right.
Hey, Hajime, can I talk to you for a sec? Yeah, sure, dude, what up? You already discovered the body before you met up with us, right? Yeah, at first I didn't know it was Ibuki because of the hemp bag, though. And oh, yeah, okay, let's just keep flashing back to it. All right, well, I can only hope that everybody, saw the previous episode and knows to not be looking at stuff like this if they aren't cool with it. Apologies, however, are still in order. I'm sorry. But I knew right away she was dead when she was hanging from that rope. Thanks, game! Which means Ibuki must have died before Hiyoko was tied up. Wow. That helps. There's no time of death written in the Monokuma file this time, so you noticed that too. So I wasn't really sure who died first. It's true, their estimated time of death wasn't written in the Monokuma file this time, but I should know when Ibuki died because I personally saw it. Yes, thank you for that. In that video, Ibuki was climbing the stepladder on her own, so right after that... Wait, hold on. If Ibuki climbed the stepladder and died right after, does that mean she committed suicide? No, that's impossible, because even if Ibuki committed suicide, it doesn't explain Hiyoko's death afterward. And again, she was suffering from the gullible disease. Basically, literally anybody could have just said, haha, go die, and then I guess she would have just gone off and done it. That's murder, technically, okay? Even by Monokuma's own sick, twisted, and warped way of speaking about things, that would definitely count. But yeah, Hiyoko definitely removes any ambiguity about it. There was definitely a murder, but how did any of this happen? How did it happen in the time frame? It's all very confusing. I'm not even sure who to suspect. 2 different deaths happened at the same time. There's no way that's a coincidence. The only ones I can absolutely feel confident about not being the ones responsible, oh great, I get to look at that, are Hajime, obviously, and I'm guessing at least Akane and Nagito, because they were in the hospital. So no matter what the situation, I don't think either of them could have done it. Which means, I also just don't see it being Fuyuhiko. I could be wrong and they're trying to like lure me into a crazy situation, but I feel pretty confident he's not responsible for this, which means it would have had to have been somebody in the motel. And actually, you know what? Ibuki was feeling bored and walking about last night. It's possible then maybe someone tried to contact us, and maybe she picked up on it, and maybe someone told her. I'm throwing theories out here, but it's not impossible. It's the rope that was tied to the baton lighting on the ceiling. Ibuki hanged herself with this rope and died. Cool. From what I can tell, it looks like a regular length of rope with no unnatural features. But despite the fact this music venue has a storage room, there shouldn't have been any rope in there. Which means, was it obtained from the supermarket? Did the killer bring it from there? That means anybody could have obtained this rope, and it means it'd be difficult to use this as a clue. I wonder if that's true. Oh, I just noticed a little something. Is it okay if I confirm it?
Hey!
Excuse me, Mikon, do you have a moment? What happened? There's something I want to ask you. There's no doubt Ibuki's cause of death was being hanged by this rope, right? Yeah, she had no other external injuries, so there's no doubt she... Oh God, that's so messed up. I don't like saying that. We can stop. I see. Yes, thank you, Nagito. We've confirmed this. About 20 times now. That was obvious the moment we discovered the body. You might not have seen it, but we all saw... Yeah, thanks! You're right. Yep, I got it. So this rope won't be much of a clue. Then I might as well search another place. Just as usual, I have no idea what he's up to. Oh, not useful as a clue. Adds to truth bullets as if it's going to be useful. My goodness. Is it possible for me to see? Yeah, all right, Hiyoko. What I don't understand is, it's one thing to kill her, but why string her up like this? Hiyoko's body is suspended against the pillar on the side of the stage. And what's tying her to it? She's wrapped up against the pillar with duct tape, and she looks like she was forced to stand upright. Damn it, who did this? According to the Monokuma file, her cause of death was a slit throat. Her neck looks like it stopped bleeding, probably because of the duct tape wrapped around it. But why is Oh, so they are bringing this up. Why is Hiyoko's kimono like this? Her kimono is all disheveled. Also, her sash is tied in the front. Did the killer do this too? Why would they go to such a bizarrely specific detail? When did the killer kill Hiyoko? During the, maybe at best 5 to 10 minutes since that I ran over to the motel and back? When I first discovered Ibuki's body, I didn't see Hiyoko's body here. If that's the case, Hiyoko was killed. It must have been during the time I was getting everyone before I came back here. But I ran into just about everybody on the way to and from. That was barely 10 minutes. Is it really possible that the killer killed Hiyoko and taped her up in such a short amount of time? That is what I have a hard time buying. I mean, then again, it's clearly happened. Even if it's possible, whoever did it would have had a narrow window of time to do so. And then there was the fact that the door was locked from the inside. Is it possible that they were hiding in here and, pretended to discover it when everyone else came in? If that was the case, then that would also... Yeah, that would definitely mean that Fuyuhiko, Chiaki, and Mikon couldn't have done it. If that's true. But it might not be, so it's not exactly open and shut. Okay, because the killer must be someone who doesn't have an alibi during that time, right? Hajime, do you have a minute? No, but I'm sure you'll take a couple anyway. No, you're in the way. Now. I don't wish to be in your way at all, but there's something I really need your help with. Help?
Actually...
If you look closely, there's an unnatural shape bulging from inside Hiyoko's kimono. I don't like... phrasing, okay? So I was thinking she might be hiding something. Wait, hold on. Don't tell me you want me to search inside Hiyoko's kimono. Huh? Well, that's exactly it. Well, why don't you do it, you weirdo? Well, it would have been a problem if she were alive, but she's dead now, you know? That's disgusting! Dude! Okay, on one thing, I understand I understand the notion. And in an inspection of the bodies of these sort of things, it is a standard procedure and something that happens. I get that. But the way he phrases it is horrible. He's like, well, she's dead, so who the hell cares? Like, what the... This game really makes me want to swear more than I usually do. Don't mess with me. Are you saying there's no problem with that now that she's dead? Okay, thank you, Hajime. Fine, if you don't want to do it, I'll just have to ask someone else.
Hey!
Akane. Yo, what's up?
Hey.
Well, there's something I want you to do for me. Looks like there's something inside Hiyoko's kimono, so can you feel around for that?
What?
I don't really understand, but I just gotta check Hiyoko's kimono, right?
Thanks.
Thank you, Akane. Helping each other is such a wonderful thing. Nagito, please shut up.
Now then.
Let's see. Akane reached through the duct tape binding Hiyoko as she stuck her hand inside her kimono.
That's weird.
Damn it. She's tied up so tight I can't really reach with my hand. Oh, wait, hold on.
Yo.
A key? There's something. Is this what you were looking for? Is this a key?
Perhaps.
It looks different than the keys to the cottage, so this may be the key to her motel room. Key to her motel room, huh?
But
And if her key was so deep inside her kimono that it'd be hard to remove, then it's very unlikely that the killer tampered with this evidence.
isn't that right?
Because if this is a trap, they would have put it more toward the front of her kimono so we'd notice it easier. How did you notice a key-shaped bulge in a kimono? Kimonos are kind of, free-flowing. I guess she's bound, so I suppose it might make an indent, but how would you notice something like that? Which means we can conclude that this is something Hiyoko had with her all along. All right. Also, thank you, Akane.
Hey,
Also, it's not like I'm adding to that or anything, but you looked like you were curious about the condition of Hiyoko's body, right, Hajime? Of course, that's why I'm investigating it, numpty. It's true, there are several mysteries regarding her body. Well, just hear me out for a second. I hate hearing him talk, but at the same time, it's not like the stuff he's saying isn't useful. So I just have to endure it. Out of all those mysteries, what I think is the strangest is
see?
the way they wrapped her body with that duct tape. Do you mean the method or the fact that they did it at all? It's almost like they were trying to hide the wound on Hiyoko's neck, don't you think? Hide the wound on her neck? I don't really know if that was their true intention, but I guess it's a big help for our investigation. The reason for the low volume of blood is because the duct tape is acting as a compress, right? I suppose, medically speaking, that would work. If her body was left alone after her throat was slit, the surrounding area would be a sea of blood. Or at the very least, significantly grosser. Yes, technically true. A sea of blood, huh? 2 dead bodies floating in a sea of blood. That's enough to make anybody faint. That's an incredibly dark way of going about it. Thank you for that. All right, just wanted, oh, like a candle? Oh, is this the candle? There's a massive candle positioned near the front of the stage. The dull light in that video must have been coming from this candle. A candle this huge might be perfect for lighting, but they didn't need to bother using a candle. They could have just used the normal stage lighting. Unless they deliberately wanted to be spooky about it. In which case, we've got somebody who's not only a murderer, but also has a flair for the dramatic. And I don't know if you know this, but that's kind of a bad combo. And Buki had a hemp bag on her head. This is the one from the theater. I remember now. I didn't notice the logo on it, but yeah. Why did she have that? Buki had a hemp bag on her head when it was hanging from the ceiling. But why did she have a hemp bag on her head? Wait, huh? A hemp bag. Upon further inspection, there's a Monami decal on the fabric. It looks like this isn't just a normal bag. Okay, well, I feel like we should probably inspect the theater. I kind of thought there'd be more to it than that, but all right. There's a black curtain hanging at the far side of the stage. This curtain, it's not wide enough. It can't reach from one edge of the stage to the other.
Huh?
It's not really a full-length curtain. This curtain wasn't originally here, right? If it was, it's strange that it doesn't fit properly. It's probably obtained from the furniture section of the supermarket. How big is that freaking store? See, the back of the curtain is taped for temporary use, just like the curtain at the supermarket. So you're saying someone took the time to actually bring that curtain from the supermarket? Well, wouldn't it have been a Buki? Wasn't that curtain up there when she was doing her thing?
So,
If they went that far, this is probably something that the killer really needed for this crime. Why'd they need it? Who knows? Am I an idiot? I don't remember. I remember there being a curtain there. Well, it wouldn't be a mystery if the answers came easy. Well, okay. Fair enough. I'm sorry I didn't notice that, but okay, well, I know it now. There should still be things I need to investigate. Oh, okay. Just take a quick look-see around. Hang on, what's this? The light control panel? There's a control panel on the wing of the stage. It seems you can use this control panel to raise and lower the baton lighting on the ceiling. In fact, we use this to lower it because hanging body. Speaking of the lighting, the video of the music venue I saw. Very dark. Just a candle. It had a dim, candlelight ambience to it. And it didn't look like the lighting was used at all. Why didn't they use the lighting? Was there some reason that would have inconvenienced them? I think another much more important question is, why did they send the signal on? Why have somebody see this at all? Broadcasting this would just make somebody run over here and find her. That's 100% the case. If they wanted to get completely scot-free off of this situation, theoretically, they really could have just done this. Eventually, people would have realized that they're missing, look for them, and we would eventually find them then. That would have given them more time to clean up the crime, or hell, even dispose of the body in some capacity. The way things are happening now, somebody would have found her way, way faster than was actually necessary. So, I gotta wonder why that was a thing. Oh, hang on, I just realized. I see. So you noticed too, fiend. Noticed. So you didn't notice. Are those eyes just little glass balls? Take a good look at the baton lighting above your head. Have you not noticed the aberrant item? Look at the baton lighting. You mean that? You said that looks like a black paper stuck to the baton lighting. So you finally noticed. But I can't really see it from here. I should lower the baton lighting one more time and...
I can see it.
There is no need.
Go, my 4 dark devas of destruction.
Now is the time for you to take flight. Faha! Feast your eyes upon the brave souls of my 4 dark devas of destruction. A hamster launched itself from Gundam's hand. It was pretty damn anime, all things considered, and ran up to the baton lighting on the ceiling in a flash. Choo-choo! What, you're chewing on it? Wow, your hamsters are phenomenally well-trained, Gundam. It started running around the stuck slip of paper in rapid circles. And then, the paper fluttered downward and was deftly caught by Gundam and his ninja skills. Did you see that? Behold the power of the ultimate evil eye wielder.
Wow.
That is amazing. I've never seen a hamster do tricks. They're my 4 dark devas of destruction. Hamsters are merely their temporary form. Well, their temporary form is freakishly adorable and well-trained. So what's with the paper? It seems to be some kind of thick paper, though it does not have any special spells scribed onto it. It appears it's nothing useful. No, that's not it. There's no doubt this is some kind of clue. I mean, the fact that it was stuck in a place like that, no matter how you think about it, it's too unnatural. Let's add that to the bullets. A scrap of thick paper. All right, last thing. Can I? Yeah, all right. I thought so. The AC control panel is at 86 degrees. That's not exactly sweltering. This looks like the music venue's AC unit. That's right, you might be able to adjust the hot air in this music venue with this. All right, I should mess with it a little, like so. It's running as a heater, over 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I know why it's so damned hot. In what plane of reality is 86 degrees Fahrenheit considered that hot? You guys made it sound like it was at least 100 and something. I don't know, maybe 102 or 4. 86 degrees is like just a little above average warm. Maybe that's just because it's where I live, but that's not anything. I better turn off this heater for now. That should cool things off a little. Okay, so 86 degrees Fahrenheit. There's gotta be a reason for that. What a ridiculously specific number. There's more to inspect. Okay. Let's see, I checked that, and that, and that. Oh, I didn't even talk to Chiaki, duh! With her arms crossed and a thoughtful look on her face, Chiaki was silently staring at the stage floor. Also, I completely missed the thing that, I saw a blood trail of dragginess. Did something drop on the floor there? Nothing dropped, it's just dirty. Dirty?
Hey.
See? Take a close look at the floor. Okay, so that is part of it, cool. If you look closely, you're right. There's a smudge as if something was wiped off. Wait, this isn't something. Is this a blood stain? It looks like a blood stain that someone tried to clean. Well, a blood stain isn't strange. Yoko's neck was slashed not far from here. Not a fan of neck-based attacks, by the way. Kind of a sore spot. But okay, so not a big fan of the person's methods in this particular murder case. Rather, what's strange is, why did the killer try to hide it? Hide it?
So...
If they weren't trying to hide it, they wouldn't have bothered wiping it off. The reason the killer wiped off the blood stain. As long as the body is nearby, there's no way they'd be able to conceal the crime by wiping off a blood stain. So what was the killer trying to hide? Interesting. Okay, so that should be everything on the stage. All right. Now, what the hell is this? Oh, it's the video device. The shattered remains of a machine are spread all over the floor.
I see.
This appears to be the surveillance camera unit.
This too.
Kazuichi put it in the music venue for communication purposes. Why is it destroyed like this? Perhaps criminal psychology is at play here? What do you mean?
Well,
Even if they know they are not being recorded, there's no way the killer would tolerate committing a murder in front of a camera. So that's why they destroyed the camera. Seems plausible enough. They'd hesitate to murder someone in front of a camera, and that's why the killer destroyed this? And what was the thing I saw? I guess they wouldn't actually fully be aware of that. All right, so is there anything super duper specific other than maybe talking to people? Doesn't seem to be the case. Okay, Mikon, you're up first. If only I'd noticed sooner, Ibuki might have been saved. We really can't keep focusing on questions like that. Hey, when did you realize Ibuki was missing? After leaving Nagato's room, I went to the on-call room, and that's when it came to me that I should go check on how everyone in the hospital is doing one more time before I go to sleep. And so I went to the patient room and noticed that Ibuki was gone. So I quickly ran out of the hospital. So that's what happened. And then I saw Fuyuhiko in front of the hospital, so I asked him if he could help me look for Ibuki. That reminds me, where were you? I thought you were resting in the lobby. That is a long story, yes. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not like I doubt you or anything. There's no way I doubt you, because we've been together since this morning. You're right, we were together until you went to the on-call room. That's right, we were together until just a little before the morning Monokuma announcement. So I don't doubt you, I'm telling the truth. Is it all right if I continue with my autopsy? If you talk to me again later, I'll tell you what I know. So please, spare my life at least. Good lord. What happened to not doubting me? Also, Alright, let's just say I'm a wee bit suspicious of how freakishly detailed about how she said that was. I mean, she was doing it in a way that's like, oh, I'm not doubting you. I know you did good. After all, we spent all this time together, and then, woo, 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 and stuff like that. Anyone else feel like that was almost establishing an alibi? I mean, it's possible. Mikon doesn't really seem like the type to do this. Granted. Okay, well, hang on. If nothing else, it's true that Hiyoko definitely messed with Mikon more than anybody. So I guess if Mikon was going to do something, it probably would have been to Hiyoko, but that wouldn't explain Ibuki at all. So I'll say suspicious, but not confident. Sonia, where were you on the night of the everything? It has happened once again. 2 of my cherished friends died at the same time. I cannot believe it.
how cruel.
This is the place where Ibuki sang for Fuyuhiko. Hiyoko looked like she was having so much fun listening to her music. And now those 2 are no longer here. Such a tragedy. I understand how you feel, but please get a hold of yourself. 2 of our friends were killed. That's all the more reason why we can't just leave this alone, right?
So just as I thought.
We must do this then, for the sake of the 2 who have fallen. That's a very good way to say it. And also, that's exactly in line and in character with everything she's done up to this point. So either she's playing the long game, or she's just innocent again. Gundam, you're my friend and I don't want to doubt you, but I still gotta ask you. Did you direct your gaze to the brave stature of my 4 dark devas of destruction? That's not really much of a convo. All right. Akane, I'm pretty dang confident you're not really a factor in this, but still. Hey, are you okay? Are you still not feeling well? Huh? Yeah, I don't really get it, but when I think about Nekomaru, it's like my knees start shaking. You're worried about him, Akane. That's completely understandable. Mildly frustrating, but understandable. There's no way I've got that kind of weakness. It's not a weakness, it's natural human emotion. It'd probably go away if I battled a strong dude, but Nekomaru's not here. Nekomaru will definitely come back. You're right. She has doubts in her heart, and that's not cool. Fuyu. Once again, you're on point. Hey, wow, my voice cracked something fierce there. Hey, Hajime, take a look at this. What? Look what's in front of the door. This is a drumstick, right? It looks like it's broken. Oh, was that blocking the door? What happened to it? If something like this is in front of the door, you think it might be a really big clue? Why would this be a clue?
Hey.
Remember when we came to the music venue? Fuyuhiko is in ultra mode, like, god damn. This dude is all in on helping, and I actually really love it. If it won't open, the only thing we can do is force our way through. And thus, we slam jammed. And yeah, 4 people, even not, absurdly buffed people, could definitely break a drumstick. Let's go, charge through, bada bing, bada boom, slam jam, breaking stuff down. The door was locked when we tried to go inside, and the 4 of us charged into the door. But when I examined it, I found out this door doesn't have a lock at all. Huh? The door is designed to be pushed open, and this is the shape of the handle. If a stick was used to bar the door here, well, don't you think it would lock the door and keep it from opening? But then again, the only way to lock it, they wouldn't be able to leave and lock. So they would have had to have been inside the building. You mean you think the drumstick was used to lock the door? The broken drumstick on the floor in front of the door should be proof of that. Then how was the killer able to get out? Huh? Yeah, okay, we're already getting there. I mean, the music venue doesn't even have windows. This door is the only entrance. If they locked the door from the inside, the killer wouldn't be able to escape outside. Maybe. The killer was still inside when we broke the door down to the music venue. And wow, he's straight up telling me like what I asked, what I thought, wow. And they waited until we were already at the scene of the crime to join us? Don't they use tricks like that a lot in mystery dramas and stuff? He ain't wrong. If that's the case, there might be evidence of that around here somewhere. You're right, I'm definitely gonna find it. I won't let the killer get away with this. Can we all please just once again appreciate Fuyuhiko? My goodness. The killer was still inside when we broke the door down to the music venue, huh? Like you said, that might be possible, but the fact that it's getting brought up so freakishly early and not even during the trial implies that that's not the case. And I gotta figure out how it's possible.
Listen to the whole story.
I heard what you two were discussing. Chiaki, that was a kind of cool entrance.
Well,
Besides the broken drumstick, I've also discovered something interesting. What is it?
see?
Look, there's a weird glob where the right and left door touch, see? The hell is that? You're right. What is this? Looks too firm to think it's rubber.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't look like rubber, but... As she said that, Chiaki bent down, scraped off the semi-transparent glob with her finger. No, Chiaki, what the crap? Why are you putting it in your mouth? That is the opposite of you don't do that to strange things you find. Stop chewing it. Why is that something you know so casually? What? It smells like workshop chemicals. Workshop? And this chewiness. I see. This thing may be a glob now, but that doesn't mean it was a glob from the start. For instance, if it was originally a liquid that hardened into this, it might be possible to apply it directly and smoothly in the gaps of the door. Chiaki, you're chewing on glue. What are you talking about? Okay, well, at least she spat it out. Just as I thought. It tastes nasty. Why would you think otherwise? Chiaki spat the glob out of her mouth and left the area. Besides that bit about the taste, it's okay to consider this some kind of clue, right? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say probably. Okay, so, not only did Chiaki put glue in her mouth, she also knows the smell and taste of a workshop-based wood glue well enough to know it by taste. This implies it's not the first time she's done that, and that's a little concerning to me. Anyway, storage room! There's a door that says staff only. Looks like the inside is a storage room. Might as well investigate in here, too. Knock, knock, don't care. I don't actually care about your privacy. I'm coming in anyway. What we got? Why are you in here? Yeah, fine, we'll talk to you first. Nagato, did you come here to investigate the storage room, too? I just wanted to confirm what you were thinking. Is that it? Or was he trying to stand guard here?
Hey.
So how about it? Did you find any clues? The tipped over stepladder on the stage, the duct tape binding Hiyoko? Yeah, probably all came from this storage room. There might be other things from the storage room that they used for the crime. You always pretend to give me hints. But in the end, you're just gonna be on the killer's side, right? I'm not on the killer's side, I'm on the side of hope. No, I'm not siding with the killer, you know. I'm just on the side of whoever acts in the name of hope. That's all there is to it.
But,
That's the main reason why this case is really special. Eh?
man.
But I can't say for certain, though. What's this guy saying? As usual, he's not making any sense.
Hajime.
By the way, Hajime, I still don't quite understand the details of what happened.
Right?
If you could explain it to me in detail, I think I'd be able to give you some more useful information. Yeah, but at the same time, I don't wanna. Really? You might end up confusing us again instead. You don't want to find the truth, you just want to make us suffer.
How mean.
That's not true. I'm not doing this because it's for everyone's sake. Oh well. For the sake of everyone's hope, I'll gladly become the enemy, and I won't even mind when I die. Yeah, you've made that abundantly clear.
Damn it.
And yet here you still stand! That's the main reason why I can't overlook this case this time. What? What does that mean? Regardless, I guess you're not gonna tell me, huh? And it can't be helped. Guess I'll just rely on my gut feelings. Gut feelings?
Hey.
You should come by later, too. I'll go there first and wait for you. Where exactly are you talking about? Well, obviously the movie theater. Well, I do have to head there. After he said that, Nagito walked out of my sight. Alright, move theater? No, he said movie theater, Hajime. Try to keep up. Why the sudden interest in the movie theater? Probably because the hemp bag was involved, if that had to make any sort of guess. You can see your whole body in this huge full-length mirror. It's probably used for checking costumes. With a mirror this big, it'd be easy to check how you look. And I guess that means something. What's this big stack of stuff? There's a lot of stickers with the venue's logo placed here. It's like they made a bunch of them and had too many left over. Feels somewhat depressing. Yeah, compared to last time, it feels like there are less stickers than before. Am I overthinking this? Well, that sentence would mean something if we ever actually went inside the storage room before now, but we never did. Also, I noticed this, actually. There's carpeting, wallpaper, and paint on the shelf. It's probably used for stage decorations. Eh? There it is. This thick black paper that's folded up on the lower shelf. Looks like wallpaper. A lot of stickers pasted all over the front side of the wallpaper. And this edge of the wallpaper. Looks a little torn. What does that mean? It probably is, I guess that small scrap of paper we saw was ultimately part of the wallpaper. I guess that's everything important in the storage room. Guess I should go back to the music venue. Ah, cool, literally nothing in here was a truth bullet. Ain't that fantastic? Game pulling all sorts of nonsense on me. All right, well, I think I've inspected just about anything and everything. All right, with this, we might be close to finish investigating the music venue. But I still need to talk to Mikan. Need to make sure I get those autopsy results. Yo, Mikan! You mind telling me some things? How about it, Mikan? Have you found out anything by now? Right, to tell you the truth, it's been very inconclusive. But it's not my fault. The music venue is just too hot. Because of the heat, I can't estimate the time of death. What? Because of the heat? Is that possible? If a body is overexposed to heat or cold, you won't be able to determine a precise time of death. Is that actually true? I see. That might have been the killer's goal. Okay, well, if that's an actual true thing, I learned something today. I did not know that. They covered up their time of death by using the heater to make the inside of the music venue hot, which would also explain why it wasn't in the Monokuma report. Despite the fact that he probably knows what time it was, he probably also noticed the effort done to prevent people from figuring it out. Therefore, that was probably omitted for that exact reason. But that's weird. Also, 86 degrees is all it takes. Even if this heat is the killer's doing, is there any reason for them to cover up the time of death? I agree. As long as I saw it, it should be clear what order the murders occurred, which means they're trying to make us think that it wasn't. First it was Ibuki, then Hiyoko. And, okay, but at the same time, when you piece together all of the clues we found out on the stage, with blood on Ibuki's slippers, the fact that a bloodstain was on the floor trying to be cleaned up, and the fact that it was even on the step ladder, Well, I mean, only one of them was, you know, attacked in a way that had blood come out of them. So, wouldn't that sort of imply that maybe Hiyoko was killed first? And then Ibuki? So then... Okay. Now my brain is telling me, all right, so then we take a look at the wallpaper situation and how a scrap of it was on the lighting baton, right? So I was wondering, well, how on earth was it possible for Hiyoko to have been tied up so quickly and nobody noticing anything and stuff like that? Is it feasible that okay, because if Hiyoko was killed first, then that would explain a lot, and it would also, you know, fix a lot of the time issues, because if she died first, then she could have gotten taken care of and, you know, could have set up the whole thing. But then... well, and then, like, maybe, like, the wallpaper was... Because I assume wallpaper was used to be, like, hung up, so maybe it was used to obscure her. That's my guess right now. On top of that, but, okay, yeah, no, not on top of that, but the thing that doesn't make sense to me is that if you've already killed Hiyoko, why go through the trouble of also killing Ibuki in any manner? That I don't understand. And as long as this is an imitation murder, there shouldn't be any mistaking the order of the murders. Imitation murder? You don't know, Hajime? I thought everybody already knew.
See?
It's a murder where the killer uses a creative work like a song or a film as an outline for their killings. Okay, how does that apply? It's so common in detective novels, mangas, and video games that you start to get annoyed by it. How would an imitation murder be related to this murder? Well, based on the killing order and the way they were killed, it's clearly an imitation of that movie. That movie? That movie? The assumption is an imitation murder is the reason why the killer killed two people. The goal was an imitation killer. Even so, why did they feel the need to do something like that? Okay, well, the only movie I know of is the one that Monokuma made. Did everybody watch it?
Do you have a minute?
Excuse me, if this was really an imitation of that movie, then is it possible that one more person might have been killed?
This, too, must be the will.
It's certainly conceivable if the killer wishes to complete the imitation. Hold on a sec. What are you guys all talking about? An imitation murder? One more person might have been killed? Are you guys worried that there's gonna be another victim? Then no worries. Is that 2 kills per murder situation rule from the first game still apply? Things would get out of hand too fast if a bunch of people could be killed at once. I'm a real cautious fella, so I prepared a perfect countermeasure. Ahem. On this schooling trip, the same blackened can only kill a maximum of 2 people. You mean you've added another rule? Technically, but also not quite, because it was also a thing established in the first game, but, I mean, nobody in this game would know that, so fair enough.
Yep.
Well, if killing everyone at once is okay, the blackened would be able to secure an easy victory, right? Just go on a mass killing spree, and everybody, boom, you win by default. Yeah, it's a messed up rule, but ultimately one that lets this entire situation even work. This new rule will prevent that. Make sure you slam it into your tiny brains. If it is a maximum of 2 people, then there will not be any more killings? Since you're here anyway, can I ask you one more thing? You know, I just want to confirm one of the class trial rules. I see, as expected of you. You're very strict about games. And you would see this as a game, wouldn't you, Kuma? I don't want to consider this possibility at all, and I don't even want to think someone would do this. If 2 cases occur at once, what happens if there are 2 killers? Eh? Like I said, I'm talking about the possibility that Ibuki and Hiyoko were killed by 2 different people. That's actually a very good question. If that's true, that would answer some questions, but also raise a bunch of new ones. That would mean that the 2 killers exist at the same time, but we can only vote for one person, right?
I am concerned.
If we can only choose... I like how they're kind of punching holes in the logic of the entire situation. It's like, what if someone did this or this or this? What exactly would the rules be in that case? If we can only choose one based on a majority vote, then the other person could certainly achieve victory.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
See?
So what happens in that case? What about a case where there's 3 incidents instead of 2? Or if 4 incidents overlap one another?
Silence.
Shut up! It's okay. I'll make extra sure something like that never happens.
Hey.
Meaning 2 killers can't exist at the same time. So it's safe to say that applies to this case too, right?
Wow.
Ugh.
I don't like
All right, fine. That's right. There's always one killer at any given time. Well, that wasn't the case in the first game. That game's Trial 3 had someone kill someone, and then the person that ultimately we ended up voting for killed the person who killed the first person. It was sort of a totem pole of murder, you see. So, technically there were 2 killers, but I guess because one of them got offed, it didn't end up being a thing. Whatever. It's semantics. Even if they had an accomplice, I'd have you figured out who the mastermind is. Okay. Man, I ended up giving you a huge hint. She made me say it. Gamer brains are not to be underestimated. I should just shut up and go back to my cave. I mean, probably. I see. So there's no possibility for 2 killers to exist at the same time by a decree of Monokuma. And admittedly, seeing as how he's able to be literally anywhere at any given time and do pretty much anything he wants, I actually believe him when he says he could very easily prevent that from being a thing. And I guess if there is an accomplice, ultimately it's the mastermind behind the accomplice that is the one who ultimately did it. Okay. So technically that would also answer my question about the first game. Makes sense. Fair enough. I guess that narrows down things a little.
Yep.
That makes things a little easier.
Fine.
Plus, if the same killer can kill a maximum of 2 people, it means a 3rd victim would be impossible. Imitation murder breakthrough. You guys keep saying that and it sounds strange to me. What do you guys mean by an imitation? Did all of you watch Monokuma's movie? Could it be you haven't seen it? Seen it? Seriously, seen what?
So...
Like I said, that movie.
Oh my.
When we first explored this island, Monokuma was passing out invitation tickets. Then the invitation is... Of course, it's an imitation of that movie. Well, based on the murders this time, it closely resembles that movie as if they were copying it. As if they copied the movie. I see. Nagito mentioned something about that. That can't be helped. I guess I'll just rely on my gut feelings. You should come by later to the movie theater. I'm Nagito. Bye. I see. So you haven't seen it. Still, it's not too late, I think. It's probably a good idea if you watch that movie before the class trial starts. Wouldn't it be a better use of my time to continue investigating and you guys could just give me a plot synopsis? Why would I actually have to watch the entire thing myself when I could use that time trying to find out, who actually did this? Looks like I need to do that. Or I guess we can go and watch it. And I should get going too. There are other places I want to investigate. Where do you intend to go next, Chiaki? Probably the hospital for sure. The first victim, Ibuki, was there. I don't know what was going on at the hospital in the first place.
You are right.
Thanks to that despair disease, we could not go there for some time. She's right. Might be a good idea for me to investigate the hospital, too. Might be some clues related to Ibuki's death. For clues related to Hiyoko's death, I should try going over to the motel. Oh, Lord, I've got a lot of things I gotta do. All right, fine. There's still a lot of things I can do before the class trial. I'll definitely give it my all until then. All right, so I guess you guys are just gonna stay behind? Anything new? Just a little bit more time, and I'll be back to my old self. This ain't like me at all. Stay strong, Akane. You're awesome, and let nobody ever tell you otherwise. It's very difficult to estimate the time of death, but it's not my fault. It's because the music venue is so hot. I got that already. Calm down. But if the killer was behind this, is there any reason for them to cover up the time of death? As long as the imitation murders, there's no mistaking it. Not just that, I also witnessed it. It should be clear what order the murders occurred. As long as we know that, there's no reason for them to cover it up. So then that must mean that my general theory of Hiyoko being killed first might be the case. Otherwise, it's a bunch of red herring clues. And I wouldn't put it past Danganronpa to put out a bunch of red herring clues. That's totally a possibility. Let's not even kid ourselves. But I still find it to be somewhat unlikely. And actually, now that I think about it, this is actually entirely unrelated to the case completely. Just making sure. Oh, 32 till the next thing. All right, well, hang on. Hopefully by walking over to the motel, there should be... Okay, that wasn't enough. Sorry, bad timing, I know, but I gotta see what happens, okay? Oh, wait, actually, wouldn't it just end up inside its cocoon-y thing again? Hang on, let me just get that squared away. Yes, okay. What's it gonna be? Oh, it pooped before it went into its cocoon. Very strange. All right, no, okay, hang on. I noticed this off screen, actually. Apparently, And here, this isn't a description of Monami. It's a freaking, this is where you get your abilities. And the thing is, do you give me a description? You do. All right, so this is where all my hope fragments come in. I didn't actually have any idea. Okay, so if you guys don't mind, I don't want to buy stuff and then use it without you guys knowing what it is. So I'll try to be super duper ultra mega quick about it. Slightly increase the influence gauge effective during the class trial. Cannot be combined with the envious influence. Okay. Slightly increases the focus gauge. That sounds pretty good. Can't be combined with menacing focus. Slightly increase the time limit for each phase. That would be nice. Increase influence gauge recovery when correct answers are chosen. That's good if you make mistakes. Slightly steadies your aim. That, okay, no. Actually, I want that. I straight up want that. Okay, I want that one. Reduce your aiming speed. Okay, yeah, I remember downshift and upshift from the other one. Not necessary. Decrease delay between firing truth bullets, effective during the non-step debate. Yeah, increase the speed of memorizing a statement. That actually sounds useful, because I noticed that thing took a long time. Focus gauge decreases at a slower rate during concentration. Okay, that's not bad. The influence gauge recovers over time during concentration and fever time. Okay. Increase damage to the opponent when a statement is destroyed. During the panic talk action. That's awfully situational. I'm not sure. Increase bullet capacity, effective during the panic talk action. It allows you to lock on to 2 statements at once. A lot of these are for panic talk action, which is kind of really situational. Easier to shift mood to your favor. Sharpness increases by 2. Okay, I like that idea. That's situational too, but it's possible that there's more than one. It seems like there's only ever one panic talk action at a time. So I don't really feel like I need to upgrade on that too much, but the sword stuff, that happens at least twice, it seems. Sharpness increased by 5? Oh, wow. Okay, well, I wish I knew that. Increase max speed during the logic dive. Increase turning power during that. Increase jumping power. Okay, slightly increase the influence gauge. Oh, I'm back to the top. Okay. Then, let's see. Well, I shouldn't have actually, I should have checked this stuff out before I, yeah, fine sword, I guess. Kind of a shame that I wasted some of my hope fragments on that. Then I guess the other thing I would want would be decrease the delay, charisma, increase influence gain during recovery, slight increase to the time limit. You know, yeah, let's go with that. And I suppose, wait, why would one of these go red? Oh, because I can't afford it. Okay. I think we should hold on to what we've got for now, then. Yeah, that should be fine. All right. Hopefully that didn't take too terribly long, but I wanted to make sure that I actually did that on screen. To the motel. What kind of information can we glean from this? Apparently this is where Gundam and Fuyuhiko decided to go to. I just remembered. I never went inside any of the rooms in the motel. Plus, I don't even know where Hyoko's room is. Might be faster just to ask somebody. Gundam would know out of everybody here. Assuming he paid attention to it.
So
You're here, right? Come on out. You talking to me? I can see you. Did you really think you could hide your presence like that? That was in fact not my goal. I wasn't trying to hide in the first place. Wait, which room was Hyoko staying in?
listen well.
Open the door to the center room. However, are you prepared? Make sure you pray to whatever gods you hold dear. He's being inclusive. That's very kind of you. And you might want to bring an extra pair of underwear. Says the man who clearly doesn't even wear any to begin with. He laughs, knowing he doesn't wear underwear. And I assume also because he knows that I know that. Even though, obviously, the free time events might not be, you know, might have never happened, so you'd have no way of knowing that. I'm making jokes is what I'm getting at. I wonder, how does this guy talk to his parents and teachers? I hope the exact same way, because that sounds amazing.
Damn right.
Hey, Hajime, can you explain it to me again? What happened when you first discovered Ibuki's body? It was the same as when I found it with you guys. Ibuki's body was hanging from the baton lighting. However, there was no body discovery announcement made. That's why I went to get you guys. I met up with Chiaki at this motel, and when we were about to go back to the music venue, you met up with Mikon and me. And when we went back to the music venue, the entrance door wouldn't open for some reason.
I see.
So we had no choice but to break down the door and discover Hyoko's body was suddenly there too. Yeah, that's what happened.
Hey.
This is the most important part. When you arrived at the motel, who else saw you besides Chiaki? As I recall, Gundam, right? Well, Monami. Did you hear me? A body was found. Body? Yeah! Could it be? Do you intend to spread lies like Nagito in order to confuse us all? It was Gundam. Besides Shiaki, I also saw Gundam and Monami.
I see.
I see. So Kazuichi and Sonia didn't appear, huh? Do you think those two are suspicious?
Like,
Well, Hiyoko was killed between the time you saw Buki's body and when we broke down the door, right? So obviously those two are the most suspicious since they weren't with us. He's not wrong. I'm not 100% sure and convinced of it, but he isn't wrong. That might be it, but it's almost as if Fuyuhiko is, like, I mean, not intentionally. I mean, from a writer's perspective, outside of the game, I think Fuyuhiko is showing, like, here's a few things I noticed, and I'm pointing them out just to get them out of the way, because these aren't going to be things that ultimately are the case, and you're going to have to figure out how these things are possible as around my theories. Like, Fuyuhiko is like, he's having a lot of the same ideas I am, so he's throwing them out to the player to have them realize, oh, I guess I'm not on the right track, otherwise why would the game be telling me so soon? That's actually pretty clever. It also makes Fuyuhiko look not only, he has the initiative, he's going about it and trying to figure things out, but it also doesn't make him look dumb, because he's just trying to make he's making a lot of the same conclusions that the player does. So, he's just trying, the whole idea is for him to help in that regard. That's actually really clever, and I like it. It allows Fuyuhiko to be useful to everything, while also helping the player realize they need to put a little more thought into stuff. That's really cool. While we're at it, let me tell you my alibi too. When the morning Monokuma announcement woke me up, I went straight to the hospital. I saw Mikan panicking in front of the hospital. I asked her what's going on, and she said Ibuki disappeared. So you guys split up and looked for Ibuki, huh?
well, yeah.
While we were circling the island, okay, so they split up. We came to the motel and saw you guys there. Did you see anyone else while you circled the island?
Well,
No. We went to the movie theater in that street full of machines to look for Ibuki, but we didn't see anyone. Are you implying I don't have an alibi because I didn't run into anyone? It's unreasonable for you to doubt me. The time that Mikan and I were on our own looking for Ibuki wasn't very long. In that short time, there's no way I could have killed Hiyoko and wrapped her around the pillar with duct tape. And it's true. I feel like there wasn't enough time to do that after I left the music venue. Also, I just straight up don't think it's Fuyuhiko. But the fact that Hiyoko was killed and we just did discover her body...
huh?
What, do you still doubt me?
Jeez.
Well, I'm used to it. It's true, I've done things that I deserve to be doubted for. So don't worry. Even if you doubt me, I don't plan on dismembering you and encasing you in concrete. Well, that's really swell, I guess. Thank you. I'd want to know in advance what I'd have to do to end up like that. Okay, but useful information all the same. Don't worry. Do not worry, Fuyu. I actually straight up trust you. And if that ends up biting me in the ass later, so be it. Looks like it's locked, but the key was inside her kimono. Maybe if I use this. It opened, just as I thought. This key was Hiyoko's room key. All right, I should go inside. Might give us some... I mean, if she locked... Oh, that's another thing entirely. She locked herself in her room the entire time. So, the question is, what made her leave? Or, failing that, was someone able to break in here? So, Hiyoko was staying here. She only stayed here a few nights, so it doesn't really feel like her room, but I feel a little conflicted. Oh, Sonia.
Oh my.
Did the door open? Yeah, Hiyoko put the key in her kimono, so I used that to open it. I see. Wait, were you in here already? What, did something happen? No, it is just... I'm starting to believe it might be my fault. Her fault? What does that mean? I don't know, let's talk to her, even though we already were! The moment Hiyoko came to this motel, she completely shut herself in this room. She was afraid of the despair disease, so she was cautious of you guys too, right?
However,
Her fear of the disease was not the only reason she locked herself in her room. She had another reason. Besides that disease, what other reason would make her lock herself in her room?
perhaps,
Her kimono. Her kimono?
um,
Yesterday I went to go talk to her. Since she had been in her room for some time, I told her it might be good for her to go outside for a bit. She kept the door to her room locked, but by coincidence, it was not locked at that time. And then I saw it. Well, that's just depressing. Hiyoko was crying and struggling with her kimono sash. She did not want to smell bad, so she took a shower, but then she could not tie her sash anymore. Mahiru is no longer with us, so I believe she was having trouble with it. She didn't leave her room because she couldn't tie her kimono, huh? Then how did she get out?
You are right.
The others might have thought it was just a silly sash, but it must have been a serious issue for her. Hiyoko told me that she learned how to tie her sash from Mahiru, that Mahiru kindly taught her the basics. That's why she wanted to be able to tie her sash on her own.
Perhaps.
She probably could not forgive herself for not being able to do it, especially since Mahiru taught her. I could not really understand her feelings, which is why I said what I did. What did you say?
Hyoko, by chance, are you having trouble wearing your kimono?
Stupid! What are you saying? Of course I can do it! Because Mahiru taught me. That's why I can do it on my own.
If that is the case, how about you do it someplace where there is a mirror?
The full body mirror in the storage room! That would explain why she left.
Do you remember the full-length mirror in the storage room at the music venue?
I mean, if we went inside of it and noticed it before all of this happened, that would make sense, but I never did.
If you do it while standing in front of a large mirror, I am confident you will be successful. Also, shutting yourself in your room like this may be bad for your health.
I mean, if it is, then man, I am in horrible health. And that was when she kicked me out.
It cannot be.
Could it be Hiyoko remembered that? Are you saying she went to the music venue to wear her kimono? I can see that happening. Hiyoko locked her room and made sure she put the room key inside her kimono. I can't imagine that she was abducted by someone. If so, that's weird. Hey, did you tell anyone about that before the incident? Or was someone listening in on your conversation? I never told this to anyone. And I do not believe anyone was listening in on our conversation. Nobody knew, as far as we know at least. If that's the case, how did the killer know Hiyoko was going to the music venue? Something's wrong. That's an important piece of testimonial. Thank you very, 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 very much. All right, I suppose I can very quickly check the sink in bed. I don't think there's gonna be anything there, although there is a Monokuma, apparently. There's a mirror, but it's so small and rusty. There's no way anyone can use this. I don't see anything that looks suspicious, other than the ponchoed Monokuma sitting on the toilet. But I guess we're not going to call that interesting. There's no sign that someone made a mess of her room, and I don't think she was forcibly abducted. I feel like I couldn't really find an important clue. Oh well. Maybe not in the room itself, but we definitely did learn some important stuff.
No.
Yes! You were on the toilet and I found you. Bask in the embarrassment of that situation, you colossally evil bear. My god. The bed isn't messed up. Doesn't look like she was abducted in her sleep. And that appears to be quite literally everything that there is to know. Bit of a bummer that, bit of a bummer, but I suppose not everything is going to be a gold mine of evidence. Honestly, just the fact alone that we were able to learn that she, probably left the room and went to the music venue of her own accord is one thing. It helps me it doesn't really help me, but it makes me think there must be, more to this whole thing, you know? What exactly was the killer's goal? Did they lure anybody around? Was it all just coincidental? Did they see an opportunity and take it? That's the sort of thing I'm wondering about. Was this entirely premeditated? Was it spur of the moment? That's the kind of thing I'm trying to figure out. Usually you can almost sort of figure that sort of thing out if you look around enough. And very, very briefly, I just want to check in on the pet again. Luckily, I don't think it can poop while it's inside of a cocoon. That's actually a question I don't have an answer for. I'm not sure. Is it an entomologist that's the knower of bugs? I never actually thought about that, but I know that bugs make waste products. So what happens when they're in a cocoon? Is that like a second sort of egg shell for them? Sort of? Anyway, that has nothing to do with anything. Well, hello there, Hajime. I knew you'd come here. Well, yeah. That means you noticed it too, right? The case this time is an imitation case in which the killer used the movie as their theme. I wouldn't know. I never watched the movie.
I see.
And you really should watch the movie.
Hey!
Manager, a customer's here.
Did you call me?
I mean, technically, yes.
Well, what?
Huh? Hajime's the customer? Do you have a problem with that?
What are you gonna do?
As you said, you didn't want to watch it, but I knew you wanted to see it all along. I really do honestly believe I could have just asked somebody and they could have said, oh yeah, well, in the movie, this happened. I feel like that would have saved a lot of time. If that's what Tsundere Hajime looks like, then you're really a tough guy. You were so devoted to being Tsundere, you even bought the Monokuma sticker for $1.5 million. Huh? You paid $1.5 million for a sticker? It's nothing. In exchange for not watching this movie, Hajime paid $1.5 million for a Monokuma sticker. Come on, since we're talking about it anyway, why don't you show it to Nagito? Stop it! But my resistance was in vain, and Monokuma reached into my pocket and took the sticker, because apparently I decided to hold it in my pants for several days. Did you not change your pants? Then again, does everybody only have that one outfit? No matter how many times you shower, everyone's clothes are gonna stink after a while. I'm sorry I was born stupid. You bought this for $1.5 million? But in the end, he's still gonna watch the movie. Who cares about that anymore? Just hurry up and give me my invitation ticket. Okay, here you go. Oh, great. It's actually a Wizard of Oz thing. It already says so on the invitation ticket, but it's only effective today at this time. By the way, I can only give one ticket per person. You only have one chance to watch it for free. I've already stamped today's date onto the ticket, so you won't be able to cheat. Don't worry, I only plan to watch it once.
Look forward to it.
Then I'll go prepare the projection reel. Please wait a bit, okay?
Hey.
Hajime, about that invitation ticket, I strongly recommend you keep that safe. And for what reason would I do that? Why? No reason. Just think of it as a protective charm. That's a very strange thing to bring up, okay. Don't know why that became a truth bullet, but I suppose it'll make sense eventually. I guess I should just wait until Monokuma finishes his preparation. Oh no, it's a wrong bed. I'm getting all sorts of mush-mouthed. All right, in I go.
No.
I'm still in the middle of preparing. Don't rush.
Are you sure?
Hasty boys get hated, you know. They might even get hated by boy bears too, you know. I feel like that could be taken in a direction I don't really want to go down. You can hate me all you want. It's true. I don't actually care what Monokuma thinks about anything.
Impossible.
Can't believe you bought that thing. And you paid $1.5 million for it too. But even you said you should have settled it with money to get out of seeing that movie. You're right, but that means I would have had to buy that thing, you know? Just leave me alone. Okay. So what, am I actually supposed to just stand around and do absolutely nothing? Oh, actually, I could inspect the fact that the bag is missing. That's a factor. That reminds me, that item should be on top of the counter. And yet it is not. This one looks like a tote bag made of hemp cloth with Monami's face. Catch your eye. It's an all-purpose tote bag useful for a variety of common tasks. Limited item. Only one person can have it. Supplies are limited. You better act now. If the tote bag is gone, then that means somebody has incredibly low standards for gift shop memorabilia.
What's this?
Whoa there. Were you interested in buying that tote bag?
Too bad.
No, that's just too bad. It's already sold out. Who'd you sell it to?
You're so stupid.
Well, that's just mean. There's no way I'd fall for that. There's no way I'd say something that'd reveal who the killer is. So the killer bought it. Ah, butts! I remember you said there was only one because it's a limited item, right? It's not limited to one. It's more like it's limited to one person. What's the difference? When you buy one bag, you get another one free. It's a common practice to bait customers with bonus prizes. For some reason, hearing you say that pisses me off. Well, to be entirely honest with you, Hajime, quite literally everything Monokuma says at any given moment in time pisses me off to a degree that I don't actually properly convey into my commentary. But trust me, even the most benign of phrases that come out of that bear's face really well and truly pisses me off to the point of me wanting to kick something really hard. Also, really? Monokuma has a count?
Well now.
Ugh, I don't like that at all. Now then, I should forget that I carelessly made a slip of the tongue that I do not have.
Now then.
Looks like the preparations are complete, so please enter the theater right away.
Can't wait. I can't wait.
If I've gotta, then I will. I don't wanna, but I will. What a pile of butts this situation truly is. Surprisingly fancier than I would have expected. I apologize for keeping you waiting. World-famous director Monokuma presents a stunning masterpiece that reduced American audiences to tears. Well, to be fair, American audiences are known for their incredibly low standards of quality. The Wizard of Monami 2.5D. I'm talking about the major crowds. I'm just saying. The movies that make the most money and get all of the awards never make any sense to me. Apparently in 2.5D we'll be screening shortly. For the title alone, I have a bad feeling about this. 2.5D, that sounds so half-assed. It's more of a gimmick.
Now, Ben, please relax and enjoy the film.
I assure you I won't. Oh god, it's Monokuma Theater, but as a plot point.
Monokuma was born in a remote village full of old people because the death rates outpaced the birth rates.
Okay.
One day, Monokuma was swept up by a tornado created by a helicopter gunship during a routine military exercise.
Okay. I'm already noticing some issues with this plot. But listing them all would be
Whisked
pointless.
away to Monami's country.
Okay. What horrors did he ravage upon the world?
Monokuma wanted to return to his homeland so he could go back to pestering the old people for change.
Okay, so he's homeless. Interesting plot point.
So he began his journey to see the wizard Monami, who was rumored to grant any wish one desires. Along the way, he met a very loyal group of friends.
Somehow I doubt that immensely.
Monokuma met a Monami scarecrow who was missing a brain. When he recommended that she commit suicide,
Because he's really that screwed up.
the Monami scarecrow hanged herself and died.
Alright, fair enough.
He also met a Monami lion who was missing her courage, so he pumped her full of arrows.
Where he got it, I don't have the slightest idea, but okay.
He also met a Monami tin man who was missing a heart, so Monokuma sliced her into lumps of iron.
You know, ironically enough, the original Wizard of Oz did in fact feature a, it's like that one joke plot synopsis, basically. Like, woman lands in foreign land and kills first person that she meets, and and then like runs off with a bunch of other people. I mean, because technically the house did crush the wicked witch, so technically it's not inaccurate. So really, this is just a, you know, more macabre and, you know, poorly written version of that. Okay.
After a lot of other stuff happened,
Yeah.
Monokuma finally reached the wizard Monami, the great and powerful.
Okay, so can I just casually ask, I get the hanging, but neither the lion or the Tin Man died the way Hiyoko did, so...
Eventually, one thing led to another, and he started beating the crap out of Monami.
Uh-huh.
And in the end, he somehow usurped the kingdom from her.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like something he'd do.
With this, Monokuma enslaved the old people, took their pensions, and lived the rest of his days in luxury.
I legitimately despise this bear and all he stands for. Cool.
And he lived happily ever after. The end.
My least favorite type of story in any kind of media. The one that centers around a jackass who ultimately accomplishes everything they set out to do, makes everyone else's lives a living hell, and we're supposed to find that endearing or funny. You might think that this is a gross exaggeration, but I've seen multiple shows that actually play out a lot like this, and they're massively popular. That's frustrating as all crap. Well, at least the movie wasn't long. Alright, no, but seriously, for real though, why did I have to watch that? Why couldn't somebody just tell me? Also, I saw no example for Hiyoko's killing. And movies, I mean, I guess the implication is, because I guess the lion got pumped full of arrows and was like stuck to a tree. I guess that's supposed to mimic Hiyoko being on the pillar, I guess. Seems pretty weak. Man, movies are the best. That drama was so moving that I needed 2 boxes of tissues, one for each hand.
So,
Now then, let's meet again at the class trial.
bye.
Thank you, die in a fire. I'm too disgusted to even let out a sigh right now. That's all I can say to describe this situation. All right, well, I feel like watching that was entirely unnecessary, but there you go, I guess. How was it? Actually, I don't even need to ask. I totally expected your reaction. That was honestly the worst movie I've ever seen. Is it even okay to call that a movie? It was more of a poorly put together kind of papercraft slideshow. Also, I mean, as bad as it was, the movie was literally like, what, a minute and a half long? Can you even call that a movie? But thanks to that movie, now you know, right? Yeah. Just like he said, the characters who were killed in the movie match the victims in this case. And luckily, we don't actually have to... I'm glad that the Tin Man death wasn't replicated in any capacity. That would have been morbid in ways I'd rather not actually be involved in seeing. Thanks for showing that again, game. That was totally necessary and totally appreciated. All around, great times. Ipuki's death by hanging matches the Scarecrow's death in the movie. Not just that, but Hiyoko's suspended body matches the lion's death too. Not really. If it did, wouldn't she have been like, I don't know, stabbed so hard that the blade pinned her into the pillar? This is more like just kind of an attempt to sort of kind of make it like the movie. I wouldn't say it matches. It would have been a complete imitation if the killer killed 3 people. But it seems that wasn't possible. Also, I guess we didn't feel exactly full of enough chutzpah in order to, you know, horribly dismember one of the characters and have everybody have to look at that. Perhaps the killer is upset about that right now. Or, if the killer's main goal was just an imitation murder, they should be upset about it, but I'm not sure if that's even true. And I'm left wondering just how much of that meant literally anything. I don't want to talk to you anymore, but do you have anything else to say? After watching the movie, you get it now, right? That the case this time is an imitation murder? Just like he said, the characters who were killed in the movie match the victims in this case. And that was Hajime. All right, cool. So we're just getting a repeat. Didn't need to talk to him. Didn't need to see the bodies again. Didn't appreciate that. Cool beans, cool beans. Now I'm leaving the room. Except it was a lie. The beans are not cool. They are the lamest beans I've ever once known in my life. And trust me, I've known a lot of beans. All right, as much as I'd actually like to go into the hospital straight away, you guys are going to have to indulge me for half a second. I'm going to make one quick lap about this entire island for that purpose. Thank you. Terribly sorry, but I gotta do it. I don't know what I was expecting, but that wasn't it. Granted, the last one did turn into a snake, but still. Do I have anything else? Would you like a sweet lemon-flavored carbonated drink? Gorimi? They seem to enjoy it, at least. Okay. Well, that's a thing, I guess. Now I've got a Rabarilla. I had a, yeah. The first thing was I guess a Snabbit? Or a Rake? Nah, I like Snabbit way better. And I guess this is Rabilla. Or a Grabbit. Oh, wait, no, a Grabbit? Oh, Grabbit sounds better because gorillas grab things. Boom, it works on 2 levels. Anyway, that was a weird little diversion. Back to the hospital. There you are, freaking Kazuichi. As much as I don't think you actually did it, I still feel the need to put an analytical eye towards your weird pointy teeth and, you know, get your account of things. Hey, you prepared that surveillance camera unit, right?
Hey,
Yeah, so? Didn't make any weird modifications or anything. It's not like I'm suspicious or anything. Didn't you get that from that shady-looking alley where all those machines were lined up?
right.
Yeah, I just tweaked it a little. Then, if there are other surveillance camera units, would it be possible to transmit a signal to the hospital from those cameras too?
Yeah.
No, that's impossible. Originally, surveillance cameras and surveillance monitors are only used as part of the same unit. The video that was filmed with the hospital camera can only be viewed on the hospital monitor. The video that was filmed with the music venue camera can only be seen on the music venue monitor.
Hey.
But if I left it like that, we wouldn't have been able to communicate, so I decided to swap the cameras. So that's how you guys were able to view the hospital footage from the music venue and vice versa. However, Each surveillance camera unit manages its broadcast based on a specific number. So even if you bring the same model camera or monitor, you won't be able to interfere with the signal. Meaning, even if another surveillance camera exists, it'd be impossible to broadcast with it. However, I didn't just swap the cameras. I modified them and increased the wireless range. If I hadn't done that, we wouldn't have been able to use it. You're right, you did work on that. Okay. Interesting, Chiaki. Did you learn anything?
Well,
I feel like I haven't been here in a while, even though it's only really been a few days. Very, very, very helpful. Thank you. Appreciated. So I'm just taking another look at this. As long as the music venue surveillance camera unit is destroyed, it's impossible to broadcast with this.
Hajime.
There's something I want to ask you. Ask away, gamer girl. You first discovered Ibuki's body at the music venue, right? But why did you go to the music venue? You had a reason for that, right? Did you see something with this camera?
That's right.
Oh, I also wanted to ask you that. It'd be different if the surveillance camera unit could record, but it's only good for household functions.
Hey.
Tell me, Hajime. Yeah, that's exactly it. And I saw a strange video in that surveillance camera unit. Real spooky poopy stuff, let me tell you. It showed the music venue stage. There was a black curtain hanging like there is now, which I thought was there to begin with. But the whole display was pretty dark because they were just using candlelight. There was rope hanging from the ceiling, and beneath that, there was a stepladder on the floor. And right away, the spookiness just kinda kept on spooking. A person wearing a hospital gown and a hemp bag on their head appeared. I didn't know who it was because their face was covered, but now I know that must have been Ibuki. She walked straight to the stepladder, and without any hesitation, she climbed the stepladder of her own free will, and then she grabbed that rope, and that's all I saw. The candlelight being used must have been snuffed out or something because the screen went dark all of a sudden and it wasn't displaying anything anymore. I think a more likely situation would be that then it was destroyed, seeing as how the device was destroyed. Well, if the candlelight goes out, obviously nothing will show up. Modern surveillance cameras have infrared functions, so things can still show up even in the dark. But the one I got from the machine alley was a really old model. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me tell you some facts. At the time, you said you didn't know the person wearing the hemp bag was Ibuki, right? Yeah. You didn't know it was her, but you saw she was trying to hang herself. So you rushed over to the music venue to try to stop her. But I didn't make it in time.
Hey.
Still, if she climbed the stepladder on her own, does that mean she committed suicide? Wouldn't that mean she's her own killer? No, I don't think she would have done that naturally. She did, I mean, yeah, granted, she had a despair disease, but honestly, oh God, as incredibly dark and messed up as it sounds, I feel like if that was the case, it would have been Akane that did it. Thank God it didn't, but we still lost Ibuki, and that's really, really close to just as bad. What do you think, Chiaki? There's no doubt Ibuki climbed the stepladder on her own, right? Yeah, there's no doubt. If so, she's pondering things. She's pondering even harder. Hey, don't think for so long. If you don't know, just be honest about it. Well, of course she doesn't. There's no way we'd be able to figure that out so easily. Now she's frustrated and flustered. Oh yeah, I need to investigate the conference room on the second floor. I'm heading over there. What the heck? She ran away all of a sudden. She said the conference room, but why would she mention the conference room all of a sudden? Also, I might just be overthinking, but did she seem a little upset? I mean, she did have her pouty face on, so. Originally, surveillance cameras and surveillance monitors are only used as part of the same unit. The video that was filmed with the hospital camera could only be there. Okay, he's just repeating himself. I did just swap the cameras. Okay. Just making sure that the dialogue didn't get switcheroonied around, you know. I gotta be careful about Akane! What you doing here, girl? There you go. Eyes are up there.
Now then.
I'm finally getting back to my normal self. Hajime, help me out with my recovery. A lovely offer, but I dare say I'll have to decline. Thank you for that, Akane. No thanks. She was bearable when she was quiet. It'd be so much better if she was still feeling the after effects. Dude! She'd beat me up if I said that out loud. She should beat you up anyway. What the crap, Hajime? Anyway, why are you here?
Hey,
Well, I've never been sick or hurt before, so I had no idea, but hospital gowns are pretty comfy. I was thinking I might as well keep wearing one. Well, it does do a better job than your shirt does. Don't tell me you plan to wear hospital gowns from now on. That's the idea, but looks like they're out of stock. Looks like there was one gown for each patient's room, so I thought there'd be more in the empty rooms. There wasn't any? Yep, that's right. Ibuki died wearing one, so the only one left is the one Nagito is wearing. If I have no choice, then I should just use Nagito's. It's a unisex size, so I'll probably be able to fit in it. Well, that's the theory. Hold on, what happened to the gown you were wearing? Are you saying I should wear the one I already wore? That's gross. Akane, y'all a dum-dum. But I like the hell out of you, so I'm gonna forgive it. Wearing clothes someone else was wearing is even grosser.
Like,
No time to dilly-dally. Also, Akane is apparently the type of girl to say dilly-dally. Would not have called that one. I totally left Mikan back at the music venue. Crap, I gotta go back soon. Well, it's okay since I already investigated the music venue, but leaving her on guard duty was a bad idea. What, Mikan or Akane? You know, either way, it doesn't really matter. That's still an incredibly rude thing to say. Hajime sure does go out of his way to make me not really like him much, if I'm being perfectly honest. He's freakishly judgmental about just about everything that anybody ever does. And just is constantly backhandedly insulting people. Just the fact that it's mostly internal doesn't mean he's not doing it. And it's okay when it's somebody who actually deserves it, but that's specifically, like, every now and then he sometimes says something like that, like, you know, he implies that, you know, anime is lame, or video games are things that you shouldn't be doing, stuff like that. You know, stuff to that effect. And randomly saying, man, I sure wish Akane was still suffering from a disease that made her unspeakably depressed and turned her into a sobbing mess. There's really no other way to interpret that other than kind of being an asshole. Man, I miss Makoto. That dude was way more chill and nice. Now I'm flustered. What's this? It's pitch black. I can't see anything. Where's the switch?
hey,
Don't turn it on. Huh? Chiaki, are you there?
'cause
If you turn on that light, it's gonna be fully exposed. It'd be embarrassing. Phrasing! But what's fully exposed?
hey,
Hey, Hajime. If you poke out your eyes, you can turn on the light. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna poke them out? Wait, what? I'm not gonna poke out my eyes.
aw,
Bummer. Chiaki, if this is a game or some kind of prank, it's very weird. Troll fail. I don't really think asking someone to poke their eyes out is exactly a troll thing. No sooner did she finish saying that, I heard the dry sound of curtains being drawn. There was a flash of intense light that stung my eyes a little. I squinted my eyes until they started adjusting to the light. What was fully exposed? And I saw Chiaki had finished opening the curtain that was covering the window.
hey,
Were you surprised? Surprised? I don't get it.
well,
I got it. Got what?
see?
The curtains in this conference room are designed to completely block out light. Oh, it's just like the curtains I use in my office. There's a projector in here, so they were probably careful about light shining through. See? A black curtain that blocks light, and it's also long enough to reach the floor. It's perfect. Also, hi, hello, hang on a second. So, a big black curtain, just like the one that was at the theater. There's also a camera. You guys see where my brain is going with that one, right? I sure hope so. A black light blocking curtain. That's why it was so dark. So, is something wrong with it? I'm still in the middle of investigating, so it's a secret. Yep, she's upset. Because I guess you offhandedly remarked that, you know, obviously she'd have no way of knowing. Which, again, kind of plays into my mindset that you're kind of a jerk, Hajime. Still, what was that all about? A bit about being embarrassed if I look and troll fail?
Nope.
I just wanted to mess with you. Yep, she's definitely upset. Why is she acting so childish? I don't know, why are you acting like such a major tool? How about that? Let me ask you that question there, Hajime. I guess I'm done investigating the hospital. I should move on to a different place. Is there another place? No, actually, there isn't. I dare say we've completely run out of things to look at.
Hello, how's everybody doing? It's me, Monokuma! Yay! awesome.
Uh-huh.
The class trial's gonna start, you know.
Fantastic.
So, make sure you guys come to Monokuma Rock ASAP. I'll see you soon.
Gah, that voice. It's already time? So, this again. I need to go to that place again. Now's not the time to be a coward. The reason Ibuki and Hiyoko became victims, in order to find the truth. The only thing I can do is go. Well, at least it very conveniently made me, it sent me all the way up, all the way out here. So, that's mildly appreciated. What do you want to bet I reach level 30 by the time I reach the location? It'd be a nice round number to end off on. It'd be pretty swell. I'm actually really hoping that it does. If I don't make it by there, I'm gonna keep walking till I do. Nah, I think we're just about to do it. There we go. Hot diggity dang. All right. Well, before I do, hang on. I gotta check to see if the gorilla pooped. It didn't. All right. Cool. Had to make sure that the gorilla didn't throw its feces on the wall. It's a thing they've done. It's a stereotype, a negative one, but one that exists nonetheless. Everyone who heard the announcement had gathered in front of Monokuma Rock. And soon enough, so did Monokuma. Is everybody here? Do you guys want to go to the class trial? Hey, jerk, hold it right here.
Monomy's such a dumb child.
I mean, you're not wrong. Don't get in my way. You're just a dumb little sister who's short a few brain cells. Yeah, and you're an asshole robot bear with extraordinarily large amounts of psychosis. My brain works just fine.
Hey.
Well, that's incredibly odd. I dare say that's not true, actually. Monokuma, what did you do with Nekomaru? I see. So you've come to avenge him. Avenge? It sounds like he died. Sounds like you say. Oops.
Anyway.
Since Nekomaru is unfortunately unavailable today, let's just say he's absent. You've literally never let anybody be absent before, ever. But this time is apparently different. Now then, I gotta go first. Hold on, I won't let you escape.
Hey.
Did you hear what he said? Don't worry about it. There's no way Nekomaru is dead. He's probably just been turned into some horrifying abomination that's going to descend upon us and we'll have to euthanize. And it'll be incredibly disturbing and dark and nobody will like it and everyone will be sad. I'm just saying, I'm just assuming. Danganronpa is a very dark and twisted series, people. There's no way, anyway, he's just trying to piss us off. Of course he's not dead. There's no way, not in a million years.
Well,
More importantly, it's best if we worry about ourselves for now. If something happens, every one of us except Nekomaru will die. Why are you so excited about that?
how about
Who knows? Maybe I'm just looking forward to seeing poetic justice prevail. What are you saying, fiend? You'll find out soon enough.
See?
Then, let's go.
I'm gonna do it!
All right, let's hurry up and get this over with. Yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, before we do, I'd actually like to talk to everybody first. Just as I thought, this particular incident. We can continue this later, right, Hajime? What's wrong with him? He's even creepier than usual, and that's an incredibly impressive feat. It's about time I showed my serious side.
Let's make
Jeez, how troublesome. But I suppose I can display my true power for the sake of our two fallen comrades. Which, at least you referred to as comrades, I appreciate that.
This is bad.
Hey, what did Monokuma mean just now? Don't tell me Nekomaru's already. Don't get distracted by Monokuma. We need to focus on the class trial right now. I know, but... I mean, yeah, it's still messed up. Akane, are you holding up well?
I'm gonna do it!
Hajime might not give a crap, but I definitely do. Hey, what are you whining about? Hurry and get this over with already. And then we can greet Coach Nekomaru with open arms when he comes back. That's a pretty noble thing to want and try to go towards. I haven't been helpful at all. I couldn't even figure out an estimated time of death. I'm sorry I'm such a useless piece of trash. Great. So Hiyoko is gone, so Mikan sees fit that she apparently needs to rag on herself instead of let others do it for her. I applaud the initiative and desire to pick up slack, but it's entirely unnecessary and not needed. Hiyoko, it must be my fault after all.
Well,
Then I must learn the truth behind this murder most foul. Now then, let us proceed. If and we simply must.
hey.
Let's go. There's no time to waste. I know it's sad, but we need to move forward. And then we need to end this once and for all. For you? I already figured this, but it's best if we don't rely on Monami all that much. She's just saying stupid things and it'll just make us even more confused. Maybe we should shut her up for good. Pretty sure that might still count as a killing. So, let's just go with, no. As long as she's not a direct physical threat to anybody, I don't see it as being really much of a thing we need to do. Rawr! And thus it has been born. We stepped onto the escalator and ascended toward the gaping maw of Monokuma Rock. And that's when I suddenly noticed it. I noticed our lined up silhouettes keep getting smaller and smaller. But I can't turn back now. If I turn back, I won't be able to press forward. And pressing forward is all we seem to understand in life. And when everyone was inside Monokuma Rock, it once again bored itself down. Like a weird drill bear thing. Who the hell knows how that's supposed to work? Oh, wow, there are not many of us left now. Oh, God. With Nekomaru, AWOL, and Yoko and Buki being missing. Now I'm left wondering how many people are going to be left in the end. But nobody said a word. As we stood there trying to figure out what to say to each other, the elevator descended deeper and deeper, to the point where my ears popped from the altitude change. I always hate when that happens. It's never a fun time. And when it descended as far as it could go, it finally stopped. The elevator doors opened slowly, almost tantalizingly so. Light poured through from the other side, eroding the boundaries of the darkness. And when I walked into that place... Is it blue? Ah, no, it's a weird orangey green. My. Feels pretty toothless with all these empty seats. Shut up, Monokuma. Well, 2 people got killed at the same time, and Nekomaru's not here either. Is Nekomaru really not participating? If he's alive, you should invite him.
No.
Why bother? What? Now then, let's begin. Great. It's the beginning of the long-awaited class trial. Please enjoy it to your heart's content. And so the curtain to the 3rd class trial was about to open. Sigh. Ibuki Miyota, the ultimate musician. She was really loud, but she was the mood maker of our group. You gotta say that much for Ibuki. She always made the situation a little more lighthearted. When I was with her, all my pain and suffering just seemed to melt away. Hiyoko Saionji, the ultimate traditional dancer. Just from looking at her adorable face, you'd never know she was actually selfish and foul-mouthed. Oh, cool, Hajime, you don't even bother trying to say something nice about her? Okay, well, there's something. But she was trying to change herself, and she was desperately trying to come to terms with Mahiru's death. I guess that's as close as you're even going to make an attempt for? Sigh. The person who killed those 2 is among us. More of the panels are turning red! I definitely can't believe it. But whether I believe it or not is irrelevant. Unless I figure out the truth, I won't be able to escape from this hell. That's why I must find out no matter the cost. For our sake. For our friend's sake. For Ibuki and Hiyoko's sake. And so, the curtain to the 3rd class trial was about to open. This life-threatening trial, billowing with hope and despair, has begun. Alright, well, that all being said, I dare say it's time for a little bit of a break before I dive headfirst into that. I hope you guys all enjoyed yourselves, as much as you possibly can given the circumstances. In the next part, we go to trial and we figure out who did it. Quite personally, I only have one real suspect at the moment, but it's possible that the game might be expecting me to suspect them, and ultimately that's not the case. It's definitely not something that hasn't... It's definitely something that has happened before in the past with these games, so... I suppose we'll see soon enough. I'll see you all then.